Hi there, everybody. It's Huz. I'm going to be doing a live broadcast of the situation in Gaza at the moment. If you give me 1 second, I need to just check something is no longer, it's not done as a private. 1 second, please. So today I'm doing on my own podcast as such, because I couldn't wait to speak to anybody else, and I've been waiting to speak to a few people, but people's unavailability is a problem for me, and I've not been able to get the people I want to come along to take part in this. Let me just quickly do something to this. I can't seem to see my own live broadcast, so I'm just going to have to give up on it, and hopefully people will watch it later on. So guys and gals, on the beginning of the year, everyone was hopeful that Donald Trump coming in would mean we're going to have a ceasefire, we're going to have stopping of the conflict. The American presidential inauguration takes place on the 20th of January. Donald Trump made a statement saying that there'll be a ceasefire before that date. He sent Steve Witkoff, his special negotiator, who went to Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, I'm not sure exactly which, and he turned around and got him to speak to Netanyahu. And a lot was made of the conversation that took place between Steve Witkoff and Bibi Netanyahu that made people like myself sit there and go, wow, Donald Trump, he's the man. He's going to tell them what to do, and they're going to do as they're told. And the reason is because in the news, it was like vaunted by people saying, yeah, Steve Witkoff went there on a Saturday and said to Netanyahu, I'm going to be in your office at 10 o'clock and I'll see you there. To which Bibi Netanyahu replied and said, it's a Shabbat, it's whatever, it's Saturday, it's a Sabbath. I don't do work on a Saturday. Steve Witkoff apparently turned around and said to him, I'll be there and I'll be waiting 45 minutes for you. If you're not there, I'm going to jump on the plane and go back. Donald wants to do a deal. I go, okay, so Donald wants to do a deal. Netanyahu says, well, I have to talk to my colleagues and friends and this, that, and the other. And he's gone, you don't need to talk to anyone. Just show up and we'll sit down and make the deal. Now, a lot was made of this. What does this do? It's a power projection that Donald Trump can tell Bibi Netanyahu what to do. And Bibi Netanyahu is his bitch. And he will do as he's told, because this guy, Steve Witkoff, has gone over there to make sure that the deal is done. Yeah? Nothing could have been further from the truth, as has been shown in the last few days. So anyway, we get a ceasefire on the 19th of January, 24 hours before the inauguration, so that Donald Trump doesn't look like an asshole. So he can turn around and say, I stopped the fighting in Gaza. Congratulations, you stopped the fighting in Gaza. And I am grateful that you stopped it. I am actually heartbroken that you're unable to keep your word, though. I'm so upset with you because I had such fucking high hopes for you, Donald. Such high hopes that you would do the right thing, that you would break the shackles that the Zionist entity Israel has got all over your head. I thought, this guy, no one's going to tell Donald what to do. Donald is the man. And I sat there and I cheerleaded for you like a mug, like an idiot. I'm arguing with people and saying, give this guy a chance. Donald Trump is the man. He's going to get it done. And then you did. You got a ceasefire. You made your promise and you kept your promise. Then what happens? A few days go by. The first person that you invite to America for a state visit is the wanted war criminal, Bibi Netanyahu. You get that piece of shit to come and sit in the Oval Office with you. Then you start raving and ranting about how you're going to develop Gaza into a new Donald Plaza, into a new Donald Trump sort of modern day thing. And when they turn around and say, well, what are you going to do with the Palestinians? You turn around and say, they'll just have to go to Egypt. They'll have to go to Jordan. What the fuck is wrong with you that you think that people are just going to go because you said so? Who the fuck are you to tell people who've been fighting for their land since 1948, or I don't know, even before then, getting killed, butchered, and whatever else by the Israelis, and now they're just going to go because you said so? Meanwhile, the demon of the fucking peace, that piece of shit, is sitting next to you with his hands like this and his eyes and ears opening up like the devil that he is, going, what am I hearing here? You may not even have told him that you're going to say this, because you're just basically a guy that goes out there and says whatever the fuck it is you want to say. And you went out there and said, the Palestinians will have to leave. Well, they didn't leave and they stayed. We had a ceasefire. The agreement lasted, but not without breaches. There was supposed to be a full cessation of no more people fighting. The agreement was, exactly the same agreement that was in place in May 27th in 2024. That was exactly the same proposal. Nothing whatsoever was changed. It was brokered by Qatar and Egypt. So if you work it out between May 27th and the 19th of January, how many thousands of people were killed? All because Israel wanted to punish people, because Israel wanted more time to turn Gaza into a fucking wasteland, or as they like to call it, into a car park. They murdered 61,000 people that we know of. The Lancet Project turned around and said, it's most probably 300,000. Why? Because they turned around and said with the diseases, with everything else that happens, with like people missing in buildings, actual evaporation from bombs and missiles, the numbers are 300 or 1,000. They say multiply the actual number by 4 and add it to that number. So 61,000 plus another 4 times 61 is 305,000 people killed. So a population of 2.3 million Gazans is now 2 million something. The biggest percentage of them are the children of Gaza. Children of Gaza have been murdered in a greater number than any other. Women that have got no role in combat are the next biggest one. The elderly. Israel destroyed every single school, every single mosque, every single church, every single anything that was looking like a hospital. Everything has been destroyed. All of these places are protected places under international law. And yet, this is exactly what happened. North Gaza looks like a complete wasteland. North Gaza looks like Dresden. In fact, you could say it looks worse than Dresden, because there's no standing buildings. It's just shells of building that have collapsed in on themselves. That's what Israel has inflicted upon North Gaza. It's been suggested 80% of every single structure in Gaza has been destroyed. That's what Israel has done. And yet, it's not enough. 300,000 odd dead, according to the Lancet. All infrastructure destroyed, all roads gone. It's not enough. The Palestinians are a resilient people. They're not going anywhere. They'll stay in that land of theirs, and you're going to have to root them out of every single hole, out of every single tunnel, and you're going to have to get them out and kill them. That's the only way they're going to go. It breaks my heart, Donald Trump, that you're such a pussy. Why are you such a fucking weak-willed wanker? What does Israel have over you, mate? What is it that the Israelis have over my fucking government in Britain? What is wrong with the world that we're sitting there watching a genocide happen in 4K and no one can do a fucking thing about it? We are long past the bullshit of Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel is not defending itself. Israel is killing people. Wholesale fucking slaughter. The ceasefire was supposed to be for 40 odd days. After 40 odd days, we go to the second phase of it. The first phase was remove all your soldiers, put them on the borders and get out of Gaza. Allow aid to come in. 600 trucks a day are supposed to come in. 50 of them are supposed to be fuel trucks. There are supposed to be 200,000 tents come in. 60,000 mobile homes come in. All of this stuff is sitting there in Egypt waiting to come in. From the very start, Israel decides that it's not going to allow this stuff to come in and drips and put people into like 15 of fuel instead of 50. Did not allow any homes to come in, only let in 20,000 tents out of the 200,000. So they broke every agreement as they're going along, and they're trying to delay it and everything else. And the reason is because Bibi Netanyahu understands the Knesset is made up of 61 people that have to agree with him. 6 of the people that have to agree with him are part of Mostrich, whatever his name is, that fanatical right-wing fucking turd. Without him on his side, he loses his position as government and they have to have an election. So he's made promises. We're going to go back to war. We're not going to have a ceasefire. So they've made a deal that they know 100% they're not going to stick to. They know for 1,000,000% they're not going to stick to this agreement. They're just playing with time to get as many hostages as they can without putting pressure on the settlers and what they want, which is the total annihilation of Gaza into a flat piece of land, removal of every single Gazan from there, and then they can roll in safely, pushing all the Palestinians either to Egypt or killing every single one of these 2 million people left there. And you know what? They don't care if 2 million people get killed. They'll be happier if they're killed because they look at them as, if they're dead, they can't hit us in the future. That's the way they think of Palestinians. That is the mentality Israelis have. And please, I don't want people to tell me how Israelis, not all Israelis are like that. 95% of Israelis are not happy or satisfied with the level of violence that's been meted out to the Palestinians. They want it to be much more than that. They actually want women and children. And they've got people on TV saying that you're not killing enough babies. These babies are going to grow up and become jihadis. They're going to become Hamas fighters. Kill them all. Kill every single one of them. That is the situation with the mentality of these Israeli people. They're not going to be satisfied. They've been brought up to be bloodthirsty human beings against what they consider as a population of animals. To them, Palestinians, they're thinking like, you know how you kill a rabid dog because it's rabid? They think of all Palestinians as rabid dogs. The fact that that dog has been beaten, the fact that that dog has been humiliated, the fact that that dog has been caged in a fucking in a concentration camp for years after years, not allowed to go anywhere, and is beaten every day. Every single day, Gaza got attacked by the Israelis. At no stage were they given any kind of access to come and go as they please. So they have a concentration camp full of Gazans that are not allowed to go anywhere. And then you turn around and say, well, we left Gaza to them. No, you didn't. The Israelis are sick fucking people. They are not normal human beings. They're not human. They are mentally deranged human beings, is what I can say. I can't call them humans, because there is no way a human that has any kind of empathy for anyone else that would agree to the level of violence that's been inflicted on other human beings. Where am I going with this? I want you to understand that I had such high hopes that I'm going to see a Donald Trump turn around and say, because he ain't going to be president after this 4-year term, he ain't going to be able to do anything. This would be his legacy. And his legacy would be that he would enforce a peace treaty. Reality is, he is Israel's bitch. That's what he is, nothing else. He is Israel's bitch. He has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt by allowing Israel yesterday, the 18th of March, to start bombing Gaza again in the same way they were doing it before, just goes to show that he ain't nothing but a pussy hole, yeah? But a pussy hole for the Israelis. They've got him by the nuts. And every American who voted for this guy to make America great again, you need to get out on the fucking streets and tell them, people in the White House, we didn't vote for you to make Israel great again, which is what you're doing. They own all your fucking politicians, Americans. You need to wake the fuck up. There needs to be a removal of every Israeli person from every political position in your country. Or call yourself the real name that you are, Israel, the United States of Israel. Take that word America, which is supposed to be, and it was, the greatest word for democracy, the greatest word for freedom and liberty, and shove it up your fucking asses. Because that's what Israel is now. Israel is controlling you guys, and you can't do a thing about it. They have told you to go to war with Iran. They've told you to go to war with the Houthis. They've told you to go to war for everyone everywhere. They are the ones who told you to go to war against Iraq. If you turn around and remove Saddam Hussein, it will have amazing effects for the area. Bibi Netanyahu in 1996 in the Senate. It started off the biggest sectarian war. It started the movement of millions of people from the Middle East into Europe. We didn't have this many people come to our country. They didn't want to come here. They enjoyed living in their own country. But they were persecuted, and they ended up having to flee war zones that were created by the United States of America on behalf of Israel. You are bombing the shit out of places for Israel. Why are you attacking Yemen? I don't understand it. Why are you attacking Yemen? What did Yemen do to get blown up? Yemen turned around and said, if you do not open up the blockade that you put in place since the 2nd of March, so not a gram of water, not a gram of food, not a gram of fuel, not a gram of medicine has been allowed to go into Gaza since the 2nd of March. So that's a full-on blockade that's been in place since 2nd of March. And yesterday was the 18th and today is the 19th. A hostage population of 2 million people without any kind of thing coming in through the border. Why are they doing that? Because people don't stand up to them. The Houthis did stand up to them. The Houthis turned around and said, if you don't let the aid in, we're going to stop your ships, Israeli ships, not American, not British, but Israeli ships from going to that port. There ain't nothing more noble than stopping genocide. Anyone who's on the side of the people that are stopping genocide are the heroes of the universe. The Yemeni people are the heroes of the universe. They're the only ones that have taken it into a hot war with Israel over Palestine. Lebanon did the same. They went into a hot war, but they didn't go to full-on war because they never invaded the place. But they did fight and disturb the north, and the people in the northern parts of Israel have not gone back in there. They've not gone, the settlers, back into northern Israel, Palestine. So you as the Americans have chosen to go and blow the shit out of the Yemenis and kill civilians to do what? To stop them from asking these guys to open up the gateways and let food go in? How can you as an American sit there and accept that in your heart of hearts. How can you accept that? That you are helping genocide happen, and these people, the Houthis, Ansar al-Allah, are the bad guys. When they're trying to say, just let the food in. Let the fuel in so that people can stay warm and don't freeze to death. So that babies don't starve. So Hussein doesn't have to see pictures of dead babies that are frozen and look like they're from the Holocaust because they've got no food. That's what the Yemenis want to do. Stop that. And what you're doing is blowing the shit out of those people because they had the temerity to say, we will start on you unless you let that in. Think about that, America. Think about that. Anyone with any decency, with any empathy, for anyone with any humanity, yeah? Who's doing the right thing here? My British government has chosen to join America like the bitch that we are to every single one of their wishes and bomb the shit out of what's it called? Yemen as well. Yemen is no threat to us. Yemen is no threat to America. They're a threat to Israel carrying on the genocide. We as the British Parliament sit there with this Prime Minister, this MI5, MI6 agent that works wholly and fully for Israel and has an avowed Zionist, yeah? He is doing the work of a foreign government and is making us as the British subjects of this government, yeah, feel like shit. Because people turn around and say to me, well, it's your fucking country, mate. Britain is the one that's doing this. And Britain is the one doing this. If you were to stop helping America, it might turn around and say to people, you know what? We're on our own, America. We shouldn't be doing this. But when you've got the UK helping you do this, guess what? You've got permission to do it from one country. Maybe another one will join. Maybe France will join. Maybe Germany will join. I don't know how much control that Israel has over all their governments. But all I know is 400 fucking souls were killed yesterday. The majority of them kids. And the numbers are going up. When is enough going to be enough? I want to know. I really desperately want to know. When is enough going to be enough? At what stage? Or is it literally going to be the genocide of the Palestinians? Is that what we're looking at in 2025? Is that the situation we're looking forward to? With the full support of America? Donald Trump, you want to become known as the peacemaker? You are not the peacemaker. You are the fucking warmonger. You are the bitch of Israel. I don't know who you've got surrounding you, but you should be ashamed of yourself. And anyone who is on the same side as the Israelis in America, that is aiding and abetting in making him think that what he's doing is the right thing, you're a cunt. You're a fucking horrible human being. Because the United States of America should be a leading light of power for good. It is now the leading power for the darkness of humanity. It is evil incarnate. You've given £2,000 bombs to Israel to do whatever it wants to do with. And you know what? You have an unlimited amount of money. And that unlimited amount of money is being used to kill Palestinians. But no one in the world is going to forget what you're doing. Israel is already a pariah state. The United States is just about to become, well, not about to become, it already is, the next pariah state, because no one can tell the difference between Israel and America. Because you guys are the duo twin evil scum of the earth. And I hope to God that Americans who believe in righteousness, who believe in God, who believe in humanity, will let you know, America, that you've let them down. To all those people that said we don't want any more wars, you've let them down. I don't want anyone to tell me how Israel is somehow the victim here. Israel is the evil incarnate here. They are the demons. They are the demons that are killing people left, right, and center. And I just want all of their shit to stop. You know what I really want to happen? I'd like to see every single one of their airplanes blown up. I'd like every single aircraft carrier that America has in that area not destroyed. And I don't want to see the life of one American dead. But I'd like to see every single one of your aircraft carriers fucked up to the point where they can't actually launch planes. I'd like every single one of your ships that have got missiles on them that are firing and laying into innocent civilians. I want all of their systems to stop working. I wish I had the magical power to go, electronic warfare, all of your ships can't fire any more shit. They do work for you to go back home, but all of the systems that allow you to be inflicting death and destruction from range on people is stopped. I wish I had the alien superpower to do that. I would do that in an instant because it would stop you from taking this road to hell that you're on. And every serviceman that is sitting there doing this work for Israel, you're going to hell with them. You're going to fucking hell, people. There is no coming back from killing the people you're killing right now. They've agreed to a ceasefire, and the breaking of the ceasefire is by Israel and Israel only. Everything was set in place. After 45 days, they would have to evacuate the whole of that area. More hostages would get released in groups of 3s and 4s and whatever else. That was the agreement that everyone had. They've changed it now, the Israelis, knowing full well, 100% full well, that Hamas is not going to accept it. And this is why he turned around and said to Smotrich, don't worry, we're never going to have peace because I'm going to make it impossible for them to accept. What's going to come next? What's come next is you have to release 50% of all the hostages you got left immediately. If you don't, we'll blockade everything, and that's it. That's not the agreement. And everyone knows why, because Israelis have never kept a single promise they've made on any ceasefire they've ever fucking done. I know what's going to happen. As soon as the last hostage is removed and is handed over, they're going to go back to just bombing from the sky. I don't know if you've seen it or not. They're literally standing on like hilltops and just emptying machine guns into people because they think it's funny. They got drone pilots looking at people 4 at a time, just walking around Gaza, getting from one place to another. Suddenly, missile, boom, kills everyone. It's like being in a video game with Israelis with no mercy, no humanity, just blowing the fuck out of people. Now, Gaza knows that is its future unless a ceasefire is completed. And the Israelis don't want a ceasefire. Because if a ceasefire takes place, his government falls, he goes to prison for everything he's done wrong, and he will no longer be the prime minister. And what it will also mean is his promise to dismantle Hamas will have failed. The fact that he wants to remove all Palestinians from Gaza, that would have failed. And he can't have that because he's a genocidal piece of shit. I think I'm going to stop there. I am absolutely fuming. And I don't know what we've got to do in this world to get our politicians to engage with stopping wars. Why do we have to have these fucking wars? Why do we have to spend our money on fucking wars? Why do we keep invading countries? Why have we got to attack Iraq? Why have we got to attack Afghanistan? Why have we got to blow up Syria? Why have we got to blow up Libya? Why have we got to get involved in Ukraine? Why is all our money going to these places? We've got a £26 billion hole, and yet you motherfuckers in Parliament have found 2 billion to give to Ukraine? How about the poor people in our own country? How about looking after the elderly? How about looking after the poor? How about not taking our money away from people who are disabled? How about having the fucking decency to give peace a chance instead of just going for war 24 hours a day? What are the chances of doing that, guys? Please, I beg of you, try and organize yourselves to think of humanity instead of just Israel. Israel is not the most important people in the world. They are not the chosen people that you need to serve. I really don't understand what it is, whether it's the blackmail, whether it's the money, whether it's the power, whether it's some other fucking greed level I don't understand, that has turned you all into such fucking bitches. How have you all become such bitches of Israel? How has the United Kingdom, Great Britain, become the bitch of Israel? We need to throw away these shackles they've got around us, this fucking yoke leading us like bulls and donkeys into places. We need to stop. It needs to stop. I'm done. Have a good day. Bye.